following weeks, several of Saddam's co-conspirators are captured, tried, and sentenced to death. Saddam is sentenced to death in his absence, but succeeds in getting out of Iraq, first to Syria, then to Egypt. It will be almost 4 years before Saddam can return to Baghdad, years during which he makes some powerful and influential allies. Among them is none other than the legendary founder and leading light of the Baath Party, Michel Aflaq. Like most of the Baath Party leadership based in Syria, Michel Aflaq is a theoretician and an intellectual. He needs operatives of a tougher sort. He sees in the young and ruthless Saddam a potential strongman of immense promise, a thug to do the dirty work. From Syria, Aflaq sends Saddam to Egypt, where he spends the next 3.5 years. There, Saddam lives in an expensive district of Cairo and enrolls at Cairo University to study law. In Egypt, Saddam marries his uncle Khairallah Talfah's daughter, Sagida, firmly cementing his most important family tie.
This is when there are allegations, although not altogether proven, that he established contact with the CIA and the American secret agencies in Cairo. And the reason put forward for that was that the Americans, just as other people, were very nervous about Abdul Karim Qasim, the leader of Iraq's connection with the Communist Party and through the Communist Party to the Soviet Union.
In February 1963, Iraqi army officers, some aligned with the Baath Party, planned to seize power in a coup backed by Western intelligence agencies. The coup will transform Saddam Hussein from low-level enforcer to rising star in the treacherous hierarchy of the Baath Party. While Saddam Hussein is exiled in Cairo, dramatic events are taking place in Iraq. On February 8, 1963, army officers allied with the Baath Party seized control in a shockingly violent and brutal coup. General Qassem, whom Saddam had failed to murder 4 years before, is arrested, tortured, and then executed.
In 1963, there's a coup d'etat which kills Abdul Karim Qasim and brings a Baath Party regime to power. And that's when Michel Aflaq thinks that the Baath Party in Iraq will begin to develop as he believes it should develop, but it doesn't.
One of the leaders of the coup is a man named Ahmed Hassan al-Bakur, a senior army officer. Bakur, a dedicated Baathist, is a tribal cousin of Saddam Hussein and close to Saddam's uncle, Khairallah Talfah. While the coup is underway, Saddam Hussein is still in Cairo, but he hurries back to Iraq. When Saddam gets back to Baghdad, his reputation as a loyal and unscrupulous party man, capable of extreme violence, immediately gets him a job as head of the secret party intelligence organization. His first job is to organize a roundup of the Iraqi Communist Party and anyone suspected of being a left-wing sympathizer. Hundreds, possibly thousands of people are seized, tortured, and murdered. Saddam even personally kills some of the victims. But within a year of taking power in Iraq, the new Baathist government starts to fall apart. The military is suspicious of the civilians, and while some Baathists want to unify Iraq and Syria, others are fiercely opposed.
So there were rifts within the military cliques of the Baath Party, there were rifts within the party itself, and so bad was it that at one point they call in Michel Aflaq and the national command, as it was called, of the Baath party to sort things out. And the Syrians come and say what needs to be done.
From Syria, Michel Aflaq goes to Iraq to make peace between the rival elements of the Iraqi Baath party. While in Baghdad, he uses his influence to get Saddam promoted to high rank in the movement. Saddam is made a member of the Baath Regional Command, the committee that takes all the major executive and policy decisions for the Iraqi party.
Hassan al-Bakr, Ahmed Hassan al-Bakr, became the leader of the party and Saddam his deputy. This nomination, self-appointment, if you like, was endorsed by Michel Aflaq. And here comes the friendship between Michel Aflaq and Saddam Hussein. And all those who opposed the appointment of Saddam Hussein, even those who stayed in the party with Saddam Hussein, were later either executed or killed one way or another. Saddam never forgave those who opposed his first appointment. He kept that deep down in his heart and exacted his own revenge.
As attempts to restore unity in the Baath party fail, in November 1963, the military ejects the Baathists from the government. The climate is one of bitter resentment and suspicion. Many Baathist leaders are exiled or jailed. Control in Iraq starts to fall apart.
1963 was a very troubled year. It was a year of street fighting, murders, disappearances, of an underground warfare. The Baath party found itself out of power. Saddam Hussein, like many other young Baathists, found himself on the wrong side again of the new government that was coming to power in Iraq.
After months in hiding, Saddam Hussein and his uncle, Khairallah Talfah, are smoked out, arrested, and jailed. But the conditions in which they are held are not harsh, and security is relaxed. But they are furious at the treatment they are getting at the hands of their one-time allies. Saddam, for one, is determined to win back his freedom. 2 years into his imprisonment, Saddam Hussein gets the chance he has been waiting for. The party has been secretly arranging his escape. While being transported to court, Saddam's guards allow him to stop at a restaurant. When the prearranged time comes, Saddam thanks his hosts for their hospitality and casually walks out. After his escape from prison, Saddam goes underground for a year. But the Baath party has a job for the tough young man from Tikrit. He'll be the muscle behind organizing the secret party cells that will steer the Baathists back into power.
One of the reasons that Ahmed Hassan al-Bakr uses Saddam Hussein is that Saddam Hussein, in the 1960s, had become past master of what might call street politics of the Baath. And so he wasn't an army man, he was outside the army completely, but what he could organize in was in the streets, in the universities, bands of thugs and semi-militia groups wandering around, the secret apparatus of the Baath party.
Saddam Hussein's chance for a grab at power arrives sooner than he ever imagined. In June 1967, tensions between the powerful Arab states of Syria and Egypt on the one hand, and Israel on the other, explode into war. In days, the Arabs are decisively beaten. The shockwaves of the defeat spread across a humiliated Arab world. In Iraq, angry army officers mount yet another coup against the government. Hassan al-Bakr, Saddam's cousin from Tikrit,